just start first by...
We're absolutely fantastic coming through. But it's a phenomenal section for me. We had some of the best drivers in the world. What you would see down here in the area is incredibly close to you, incredibly close to
maps. Obviously, we're going to get pictures of the location. Maybe we can
just do that at the end. Get your questions in.
I think they love it, you know.
He's got another 5 seconds.
It's a major step to the previous generation Formula E car. Not only has the battery increased a lot in terms of capacity, we're up to 52 kilowatts now, so there's no more car change needed during the races, but also the power in qualifying mode has increased by 25%, so we have 250 kilowatt for qualifying mode now and 200 kilowatt in the race. So yeah, lots of big changes. The car looks vastly different, very, very spectacular, I would say, almost futuristic. So yeah, can't wait to see all of those cars on track together. It will be a lot more exciting for the viewer, the new race format, but also for a team. It's vastly more complicated. Now the new format is 45 minutes plus 1 lap in the race distance, and so we don't really actually know how many laps the race is going to be. So it's going to be a lot more difficult for a team in terms of energy management throughout the race. Last year for us was a huge step. I think we scored 4 times more points than we did in the inaugural season for us in Formula E. So first podium finish in Hong Kong for Mitch, first pole position in Zurich, so those were definitely big highlights. And this year, yeah, the next step in the 3-year plan, I would say, is to regularly competing for podium finishes. And I think as a team we've made huge progress, big steps forward every time, so we're looking to build upon that for this year, season 5. Formula E is a very complicated format in terms of race weekend. Everything's compressed in one day. Free practice, qualifying, and then the race. So during the day itself, there's very little time to make any analysis. So an extra pair of eyes for engineering side, from a driver perspective, can be very helpful in certain situations.
The inspiration behind the livery for the vehicle, it really was us investigating whether we should look to change things up a little bit. We'd launched the Ipc Trophy concept car in the phosphor blue base colour, and it was very striking, got a lot of positive attention. So we looked at whether we should do that with our Formula E race car. But we also looked at evolving the current theme. The car is very recognisable on the grid. It's a very popular livery on the Season 4 car. And in the end, we decided to evolve that theme and build on what's already recognisable was the way to go. So we used stronger, simpler racing stripes to pick out some of the cool design features on the Season 5 car. That manta ray shape around the cockpit is really cool, so the lines emphasise that. And also those dihedral stabilisers that support the unique split rear wing. Again, the graphics of the livery pick out those design features. I think people love it. I think everybody loves the avant-garde design of the Season 5 car, you know. And as I've said before, I think you've got a very young fan base for Formula E that's growing. And their point of reference is the cars they can build themselves in racing computer games and what they see in sci-fi movies. So their level of expectation for racing cars is different and higher to my generation. So I think producing a design which is so progressive and avant-garde and almost a bit science fiction is exactly what the young spectators want.
So the season's going to be incredibly competitive, as it's been the last number of seasons in Formula E. It's one of the exciting things about the championship. This year there's a completely new car design. There's a new battery which will allow the cars to race the entire distance and not have a car change in between. And in particular, we've developed a completely new powertrain system for the car. So increasingly, there's more manufacturers joining Formula E, and that's one of the things that is really exciting, but also ramping up further pressures around the performance and making sure that we leave no stone unturned with regards to extracting the performance, either in the vehicle itself, the powertrain, or the team performance. Future generations of cars will really benefit from a lot of the things that we're developing and validating on track today. So for the engineering team involved in these cars, in the development of them and operating of them, it's really exciting times because there's very tangible linkages to what we're doing regularly in a competition environment to what's going to be coming through in mainstream products in the future.
One car race now, no pit stops. Instead of running one car for 20-25 minutes, we're running one car for 45 minutes. The whole 45-minute rule, there's not going to be a number of laps, going to be by time. So I think was the smart people we have in our team. I'm hoping that we kind of jump the other guys and get a bit of an advantage out of these changes that are going to happen this season, Season 5. That's the new car, yeah. I mean, it's quicker. The tires are a bit softer, so there's a bit more grip. There's more deg into the tires, so there's going to be a bit more of managing the tires during the race.
Jaguar I-TYPE 3, all new powertrain. We've really looked at the car from every angle just to make sure we optimize weight, get the center of gravity as low as we can in the car. It's 25% more powerful. We moved from a maximum power output of 200 kilowatts now 250 kilowatts. But at the same time, from a powertrain point of view, not increasing the weight and really trying to make the car as dynamically capable as possible. So a real challenge as we've gone into the new regulations with what, as you can see behind me, is a new Generation 2 Formula E car, so visually incredibly different. The big step change also is the battery. We now have the new Generation 2 battery, which has 85% more usable energy, which means gone are the pit stops. So the famous kind of car change in Formula E is now gone because we have one car that can last the complete race distance. And that's really a big step forward in battery technology and also gives us that extra performance, extra 50 kilowatts of performance from the powertrain. So in conjunction with the battery, our all-new powertrain to maximize the range and the performance from that, yeah, it looks like a really exciting prospect ahead for us. Yeah, it's fantastic in a short space of time just to see the growth that Formula E is experiencing, the new competitors that are joining, and just the quality of entrants that are coming into this championship. So the likes of Nissan and BMW joining, ourselves, Audi, and all the others already in the championship means it's a really tantalizing prospect. And I think what is exciting is, from a future point of view, the quality of manufacturers, the quality of drivers in Formula E. The racing is only going to get better, and the evolution of this technology is only going to become faster as well. When we entered Formula E, one of the key reasons we chose the championship was the transfer of technology from the racetrack to the road. We felt Formula E gave us the perfect test bed for electrification technology, and we've seen that become reality. It's a perfect proving ground for whether it's optimizing performance of the battery, optimizing performance of the powertrain, reducing the weight, managing the temperature of the powertrain. These are all incredibly important elements which ultimately have real transfer to make better production cars for our consumers to drive. For Season 5, we introduced the Jaguar I-TYPE Trophy. It's become the main support championship for ABB FIA Formula E. Really exciting addition for Formula E. It's never had a support series before, and we were fortunate by launching the new Jaguar I-PACE. We had a road car we could turn into a race car. So up to 20 identical specification Jaguar I-TYPE Trophy racing cars, racing in 10 cities around the world. We're really excited to do this, and it's a world first. No one's ever produced a production battery electric racing car. So a car you can buy in the showroom, you can now race on the track as well. And it's a huge step for us at Jaguar, but also a huge step for Formula E. And I think it's going to add not only an additional element for fans to see on the day, but it will without a doubt create some fantastic racing. And we're really looking forward to seeing a full grid of cars racing around the world.
My goals are quite high actually. We've been working really hard. We made big steps forward from our first year to second year. So coming to our third season, I'm hoping to, obviously improve on that. We got a podium last year, pole position, but I feel like we missed a few opportunities. So I'm hoping to sort of redeem ourselves this year and hopefully get a few wins and be battling for the championship. Yeah, obviously the biggest difference is, the whole car is different between the I-Type 2 and I-Type 3. Whole new battery, whole new look for Formula E, a new identity for Formula E, which will sort of, have a unique look for the series. Obviously the biggest difference is obviously the battery life and the performance from the battery. We've got up another 50 kilowatts in terms of outright power, more torque, and obviously the volume of the battery is almost doubled, so that's really, really impressive to see. From the outside, it looks a lot different. You got the halo, which obviously you can see in Formula 1. Obviously the wheels are covered, sort of in between like a single seater and prototype. So yeah, I think it looks really cool, and hopefully on track it looks good for the fans. So yeah, there's a lot different, but yeah, hopefully we can use the new rules, new regulations to our advantage, and really hit the ground running when we come to the first race in Saudi Arabia. I think going to Saudi Arabia for the first time is very, very important, actually, for the image of the championship. It shows they're making changes as well in their own culture. So that's going to be exciting. I think Sanya in China, I actually never heard of it before, so that's a great thing about Formula E. It puts these type of cities and countries sort of on the map, and yeah, I mean, I really hope to have a race in New Zealand sometime soon. That'll be amazing. Which I know people working behind the scenes quite heavily to make that happen. So yeah, there's 2 new additions to the championship, but I'm really looking forward to going back to the likes of Paris, Rome, New York City, Mexico City. I mean, that's just to name a few. So yeah, another exciting calendar ahead. Yeah, well, we went through a hard time, when we first came into the championship, having 2 years less of experience compared to our competitors. Obviously, they're going to find that coming into when they come into the championship, with HWA, which will be a brand of Mercedes coming in to next season. Then obviously Porsche the following season. So yeah, it's I mean, every manufacturer is going to have to go through it. It's just it's all about just being prepared as possible, being realistic. We were very realistic in our first season back in 2016-17. So, but now we're in a position where we can really, got the experience and then fight the other manufacturers now. So, yeah, it's tough to begin with because it's such a unique type of racing. But you've got to go through that sort of stormy period to obviously, hopefully, see a bit of champagne and trophies at the end of it.
The biggest change that we're actually going to be seeing is a visual one. It's the car. So we've gone from what looked like a typical Formula car that motorsport fans would have been very familiar with to a car that is truly unique to Formula E. So the Gen 2 car does look radically different to anything that anybody's ever seen. It's a wonderfully futuristic design, and I think it looks very striking. It's certainly going to hopefully inspire a new generation to actually get involved in the sort of Formula E journey. The other big change is, of course, the battery. So we're now going to a single car for the race rather than having the car swaps. There are also changes to the amount of energy that can be used during the race. So it's very exciting, and I think the teams are now just starting to get to grips with how those changes are going to manifest themselves. One thing that was very clear from our season 2 was just how challenging the series is. It's very, very hard. It's very, very competitive. And the nature of street circuits and the schedule of the day means that any small mistake puts you on the back foot and then is a disadvantage. We also certainly missed some opportunities last season. Everybody has learnt from that. We're all going into this new season really fighting fit, hungry, and looking forward to seeing where we can go. I think if Formula One denied the fact that they don't look at Formula E as a platform for where motorsport should be going, they would be lying. We know that this is very much the future of mobility. It is answering an awful lot of the questions about our future mobility as well. Formula One as a sport most certainly has its place, but comparing the two are like comparing apples and pears. When you're actually looking at true transfer of knowledge and technology into road cars, it is electric.
The Formula E does and did meet our expectations. If you look at the number of viewers, we achieved 330 million viewers last season, which is on a race average even better already as MotoGP. The growth rate was at 48%, and if this continues, there will be some time in the future where we'll have more viewers than Formula One. So we will see more OEMs. So next season, the HWA team, which is basically Mercedes, will join the series. The season after next season, Porsche will join. So then we have 9 OEMs on the race grid. This, I think, is has in motorsport history, this we never have seen before. So I think Formula E is developing very, very good and very successful. As we all know, Jaguar has launched the first all-new, all-electric I-Pace this year. Of course, the question was how to promote this car in a very interesting and involving way. And for a motorsports company like Jaguar, it was obvious to put the car on the racetrack to show its capabilities, its technology, and its sustainability. And this is exactly what we did. And E-Trophy is a support race for Formula E, so it's exactly the stage the car deserves. And we are expecting interesting, exciting races with a full grid.
James Barkley, the team principal, was saying that you know, year on year they're getting better and better, and they're getting more experience in electric motor racing. And I think this year with a brand new car, lots of brand new bits and pieces on it, and the majority of the car, the technology, is actually built in-house. So there's no excuses this year. I think this is where Jaguar really make a statement. What we all, I think motor racing fans as a whole have to grasp the fact that Formula E is innovative. It's not stuck in the past, it's moving forward constantly, and it's not embarrassed to try new things. And I think that's what motor racing fans have to embrace, is that Formula E is brand new. We're only in our, well, 4th season we've just finished. We're about to go in the 5th. So let's try new things, you know, and we're not going to be racing against a lap count. We're going to be racing against the clock. So each team has to do 45 minutes, then 1 lap, which I would imagine means that all the mathematicians within the teams, because Formula E is all about preserving energy and how much energy you use and how much energy you waste and regen, I think the mathematicians and their algorithms are going to be going bonkers this season.
Thank you very much. Laura. Looking forward to the